Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for a brand new video on rFactor 2. So today we're here for a video that I just wanted to record for so long. It's probably been months since it's been announced that we're gonna have the Ferrari 488 GT3 in the game, and it's finally here as a separate DLC from the Ferrari GT, for anyone wondering. So we had the Ferrari 488 on the endurance pack, and now we pretty much have the Ferrari 488 GT3. So what a better way not to show off this car. It's just a beautiful car. It's yet another Ferrari, and it's now in the GT3 category. So we're going to be having a race, a 20-minute race around a free laser scan track, as I've already told you on the social tab page, pretty much, where I announce my videos and all that. And we're going to be driving around a free laser scan, which is the Atlanta Motorsport Park. But let's talk about this car. I feel like it is such a beautiful car. It's got plenty of nice levers. This is the main one, the sort of default one. It's not really something that is actually used in the official races, but I actually really enjoyed how I really liked how the Italian flag was implemented in the middle of the car and all that. And this is a track that we're going to be driving around, a free laser scan track yet again, yet another amazing free track, something free that you can get on rFactor 2, and it's also laser scan. So free laser scan, the Atlanta Motorsport Park, and an absolutely lovely track. It's also a car track, so if you got the cards sort of DLC on rFactor 2, you can download this and have so much fun with the cards. But there's another track pack for pretty much the card DLC on rFactor 2, which is 100% worth it. But I just said it, you know, there's also the sort of card layouts around this location, so if you want to have some fun with karting. But this is the full racetrack layout. It's actually a fairly short track, sort of like a 1 minute layout racetrack, and it's a phenomenal circuit. It's like the American Nordschleife. It's got plenty of elevation changes, a lot of blind corners and all that, and that's why it's probably being labeled as the American Nordschleife. I know it's fairly shorter than the Nordschleife. The Nordschleife is around 7 minutes to drive, 6 minutes, something like that, but this is actually a 1 minute track. But all in all, it is like an American Nordschleife, and it's such an amazing track, and I decided to show it off on this video. Fairly enjoyable track. As you can see, a lot of blind corners, a lot of elevation changes going up and down like a roller coaster. It's just an amazing track overly, and we're having a 20-minute race around this beautiful circuit, and up against the whole GT3 pack. There's already a slight crash there between a Mercedes and all that. We make a move on the brand new Bentley of 2020, which was the previous video. If you haven't checked it out, go back into my channel and check out the video that I made on the Bentley Continental GT3 of 2020, which was a brand new DLC. And we had a race, a beautiful race around Bathurst, as we go for a double move on the McLarens. They are very slow into the brakes there, so they're getting slowed down. But this Mercedes there, AMG, right up ahead. And also, I feel like rFactor 2 has really done some business now on the GT3 models. There's some crashes there. The Audi R8 has spun, and I feel like rFactor 2 is improving massively with both the BOP performance update and also putting in such a beautiful car, which is the Ferrari 488 GT3. And I can already tell you that this car is probably going to be my favorite car to drive on the GT3 category. I know I've said on the previous episode, on the previous video, that the McLaren 650S is probably the best car available on the GT3 category, but that wasn't until probably this car got released. The handling of this car is absolutely amazing. It really feels very easy to drive it. It feels very responsive in comparison to the Bentley. I'm not saying that, of course, I'm not gonna compare the cars together, as we have a slight bit of a slide in the back end there, but all the cars are good. All the cars are good on the GT3 category, apart from the Mercedes. The Mercedes for me is probably the most frustrating car to drive on this GT3 category, but in my opinion there are a few top cars in this category, and probably some of them are the McLaren 650S, and this right here, the Ferrari 488 GT3, just feels amazing already to drive. And I can already guarantee you that, like, the driving feeling on this car is absolutely amazing. But you can actually manage to set similar times, in my opinion, with all cars. That's just my opinion. I feel like with all cars you have the ability to set some very, very good and competitive lap times. But with these two cars that I've just mentioned, you have the ability to set them a little bit easier. Like, it's going to be easier for you to adapt into the car and set the lap times that you can actually set with a Bentley. That's all I'm going to say. But depends also on your driving style. Like, if you want a heavy car that's just a little bit harder on the driving, then go for the Bentley. Or for the Corvette is actually an amazing car. As we go up the inside there from McLaren, this Corvette actually right in front of me seems like a very aggressive car. Look at how much he loses the back end there, and this could be an opportunity for us into turn number 1 to go for a move on the Corvette. This Corvette actually seems very aggressive so far in this race, making moves just like me, in my opinion. But also an amazing car, the Corvette. We're going to be driving at some point as we go around the outside of it, and we go a little bit dip into turn number 1, and that's actually contact there with this Bentley. He pushes me off the circuit there. I told you, this Corvette seems very aggressive at the moment, and McLaren actually took it for granted there and re-overtaken me there as I go a little bit wide also into this corner. That's going to open up a space there for the Porsche behind me. The Porsche is a very good car, a little bit oversteery, but you can get used to it. The Aston Martin, very, very consistent cars. We go up the inside of the McLaren 650S, but I would probably be like the best cars in this category are the Ferrari 488 GT3, and I can already tell you that this car is just so consistent, so fast, so good through the corners and all that. It's just probably best possible GT3 option, but I'm going to put it on the same level as the McLaren 650S. Then I would say I could go probably with the Corvette and probably the Porsche, in my opinion. I don't know about the McLaren. The other McLaren is a good car, but in my opinion it's not as good as the 650S, so I'll probably put it to the 3rd level. So Corvette is a very nice car, together with the Porsche and the Aston Martin and the new Bentley. And then on the final level I'll probably put the other McLaren and the older Bentley. But the Corvette makes a move on the McLaren, very aggressive yet again. I don't know how this sort of AI is so aggressive. I have it on 80% aggression and 110% difficulty, so the Corvette is quite fast at the moment. But let's see, can we actually overtake the Corvette? It would be very interesting to see if we can overtake the Corvette. As we got rid of that McLaren, now it's a fight between me and the Corvette, the very aggressive Corvette that just pushed me off the circuit. And until we catch up to the next straight of cars together with the Corvette, we'll see if we can actually overtake it. So I'm going to let you enjoy for a little bit the engine sound of this Ferrari, and also a few clean laps around the Atlanta Motorsport Park. You can see that I'm actually losing the backhand on some occasions through the exit of some corners, but that's not really down to the car. It's pure driving error and being a little bit too eager to go into the throttle. And yeah, the car isn't actually an oversteery car for anyone wondering, so It is very consistent and very easy to drive in comparison to the Bentley. Like, if I was now on the Bentley, on my first ever drive, because this is my first ever drive with a Ferrari, I would have probably spun out at the start several times. That's what happened with the Bentley. Like, I got straight into the Bentley and I started spinning around a lot of times. Like, getting down on the throttle was a little bit of a different thing with the Bentley, whereas with the Ferrari I just haven't really spun at all. I had my moments, but it just wasn't really that scary, let's just say. So the Ferrari is a better driving experience, an easier driving experience. So of course I'm gonna be choosing it over the Bentley, but the Bentley had a whole different feeling. The Bentley had a different kind of enjoyment, and you know, at times you have to, like, for a competitive racing, I would probably choose the Ferrari, and for just having fun, I could have choose whatever car I want. But for a competitive sort of event, the Ferrari seems like a very good option in my opinion for the time being. As we set our fastest lap so far, 140.1, and we're getting closer to the Corvette. So at the same time though, we're getting closer to another train of cars, which are probably 5 cars there. A Bentley, an old Bentley, some McLarens, and I don't know, probably a few McLarens there and a Bentley. That's probably the sort of train of cars that we are catching up to now, together with my good old Corvette there. Oh, we ran wide. No, I made a mistake. That's the first time I make this mistake, but there's a yellow flag as a Mercedes has spun, and at the same time there, the Corvette actually slowed down because of the Mercedes, and despite me making a mistake there, that's going to give me a free position to the car that I just couldn't overtake so far in this race. So it's a bit unfortunate because we had a very nice fight there with this Corvette, and I'm not really sure if we would have been able to make a move on it. But as we go 3 wide there, right in front of us, and a Mercedes has spun right in front of us yet again. I don't know what happened there. A Mercedes has spun on this corner, but probably it's back on its way now. As 3 wide they went there, the Bentley, the McLaren, and the Aston Martin. The Bentley is trying to make a move around the outside of the McLaren 650S now, and right behind me is still the Corvette. We shouldn't forget about the Corvette, because remember how aggressive it was, and now there's literally no space available for me to go for a move on one of those cars. The Corvette goes up the inside there, making a contact yet again with this car. Absolutely amazing racing there. Look at the Corvette trying to go around the outside, trying to make a move on me yet again. This is probably the best fight I've ever had with an AI car on rFactor 2. This Corvette is actually a real mess of a car now at the moment. It's really trying to put a fight on me, trying to frustrate me there on this race. As we're now at the back of this McLaren 650S, which is at the back of a Bentley, which is at the back of an Aston Martin. Absolutely amazing fight so far around this circuit, and we're probably going to go for a move around the outside of the McLaren. Could we complete this move into turn number 1? The McLaren tries to go for a move on the Bentley, not possible there. Sub us out with the McLaren. Any chance we could complete this move? And yes, we've completed this move. Very nice move it did around the outside, and that is going to give us yet another position, as the McLaren still has the inside line sort of, and the Corvette, if it really wants to get me there, needs to get rid of this McLaren as soon as possible, as we run wide through this corner. And it's actually a very tough corner there. You tend to run wide as you are at the exit of the curve there, and we make also a move, a very easy move on the Bentley now. And next car up ahead is the Aston Martin Vantage. So let's see how easy the overtake will be on the Aston Martin. And right after that, we have yet another McLaren 650S. I don't even know how much time we got left in this race, probably around 5 to 6 minutes or something like that. I feel like we've been running for quite a while, and now we're at the back of this Aston Martin. So let's see, can we complete this move on the Aston Martin? Not into this corner, obviously. We're going to be waiting for turn number 1 to go for a move. A nice fast sequence of corners as we go into the right-hander now to go into the start-finish straight, and probably try and go around the outside of the Aston Martin. Any chance we can complete this move? Oh, slide oversteer into the exit. Look at how much we lose the back end there of this car. Now side by side with the Aston Martin, it's got the inside line, so it's not really possible for us to complete a move around there. We stay behind the Aston Martin, who loses the back end there. Aston Martin there losing the back end, trying to defend from me there, and we're now trying to have a good exit around here and into this right-hander up the inside, and gonna be completing this move nice and easily there as we complete yet another move. That was actually a very nice fight between me and the Aston Martin, but the Corvette is nowhere to be seen. Actually there I can see the Corvette on my back, on my rear mirror there, as try to make a move on the Bentley. It stayed a little bit behind. As much as he has the pace to fight with me, he doesn't complete the moves as fast as me, so you know, he's still fairly behind. And next car up ahead for me is a McLaren 650S with sort of James Tumulty livery, in my opinion. So shout out to James Tumulty. We raced together in the Race Awareness 4 mental health event on the Assetto Corsa back in the day, so very good YouTuber, go check him out. McLaren actually doesn't have a very good exit, and we're going to be completing the move on the McLaren. That was a very, very easy move, surprisingly enough. There's this bit of a yellow flag up ahead. Oh, it's another Mercedes yet again spinning out. The Mercedes always tend to spin out. I don't know if you remember the North Slide video we had, and the Mercedes was actually yet again the car that span out on the first lap. So probably the Mercedes have a tendency, they already have the worst car in the GT3 category for this game, but they have that tendency of spinning out. So it's like even the AI cannot drive this car. I'm not really sure what's going on with the Mercedes, but probably a very, very weird car in this category. But we had a very easy move on the McLaren, and next cars up ahead is yet another McLaren 650S, which is actually getting chased out by a BMW. We haven't seen a BMW in a while, so that's a first. Haven't fought with one in a while, so let's see if we can catch up to them. Not a lot of time remaining in this race, but I'm still gonna push as much as I can, set my fastest lap times, and see if we can catch up to these cars up ahead. I'm very late on the braking there. Almost made contact there with the BMW. That was not a good braking point. It's actually a fairly nice fight between the McLaren and the BMW, and Right up ahead. Oh, the Mercedes has actually spun out again. Oh, and it's returning fairly dangerously there into the track, and that's gonna avoid me from actually having a proper fight there with the McLaren and the BMW, because they both got slowed down by the dangerous Mercedes re-entering the track there. But the Mercedes tend to spin so much around this racetrack for some weird reason. I don't know what's the matter, but they just tend to spin out so much on every single race we have around rFactor 2. But that's some free moves there, both on the BMW and the McLaren, which is a bit unfortunate. We missed out on the fight between these two cars, and we also missed out on a big fight against the Covet because of yet another Mercedes spinning out. So that's a bit unfortunate. We missed some good fights around this race, but you can actually have some very good and competitive racing on this game, as long as you find the right car at the right time. But we had our fights and all that. I feel like we are reaching the end of this race. Probably this is the final or the penultimate lap, something like that. But we had our fights and our moments. Look at this! Is that a Mercedes again? No, it's actually a Porsche. That's actually a Porsche. This time was a Porsche. Okay. Okay, we had something different, but I just saw a car literally spinning out as it went onto that curve corner. But that corner seems to be very frustrating for the AI for some weird reason. But so far for me, I love the track. I love the car. What a track and car and track combination. 100% try this, because so far I'm actually loving this. It is actually the checkered flag. So that was a race, fairly good race in my opinion. We had a few overtakes, a few crashes here and there. We missed out on some battles because of some cars crashing up ahead. Of course we didn't win this race, but it doesn't really matter. I don't do this for the actual results. I'm just doing this for the fun of it, and I feel like we've had loads of fun around this one, and we drove a car that is, in my opinion, probably the best available GT3 car that you can find on rFactor 2 at the moment. But yeah, great fights overall, and this track is actually amazing, and it's a track that people haven't really heard of, and in my opinion it is a very underrated track. Like, everybody has heard of Bathurst, and you know, Bathurst is an amazing track. It literally got everything. It's got its straights, it's got its narrowness, it's got its elevation changes, and it's pretty much a track that has got everything to provide you for some good racing. But you know, it's actually a very tough track. Bathurst is a very hard track, so if you really want to get into something with a brand new car, I wouldn't really suggest Bathurst. It's a very hard track, and I feel like you should try it later on as you get more comfortable with the car. Whereas with this circuit at London Motorsport Park, which is a free laser scan, yeah, you heard that right, a free laser scan track on rFactor 2. Go on and download this, because it is, in my opinion, a phenomenal layout. It still has elevation changes, it still has its blind corners. It's like, for me, the American Nordschleife. It's just a phenomenal circuit all in all. It's got everything that a track needs to provide good racing and enjoyable driving. It's fast, blind corners, elevation changes, a lot of crashes with this sort of AI, which is not a positive thing. I think it's not really positive to have a lot of crashes, but either way, that was it for today, guys. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, turn on notifications by ringing that bell to get notified for any brand new videos on my channel. As for the next video, which is probably going to be Accelerate or WC9, I feel like the WC9 agreement should be back eventually at some point, but I still want to post Accelerate career mode, so I'm going to be posting one video of Accelerate, see how it does, and after that we'll decide on the future of that series as well. But hopefully you're enjoying the content, and follow me on Twitter. Make sure you join my Discord server to have a discussion with me, give me ideas for future videos and all that. And yeah, until next video, guys, I'll catch you later. Goodbye.